If you are a supporter of the orange dictator and you heard me making fun of his supporters and you were offended, I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I meant every word that I said, and I think you're fucking stupid, so I'm glad you're offended.
For the first time in history, you can post, "He's an idiot," and 90% of the world will know who you're talking about.
So by now, we saw that shaking, pissing chihuahua, J.D. Vance, who's been humping the corporeal representation of all things unholy, Donald J. Trump's leg, as they both threw a bitch fest at President Zelensky. And I am seeing comments like, oh, I just feel so bad for Zelensky. This is the same man that when after Russia invaded his country and started a war and were slaughtering his people, and Joe Biden said, hey, you want us to come get you? He said, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition. That's the same guy today that when a reporter said, oh, why don't you wear a nice little suit like us, said, I'll wear a costume when this war is over. Do not feel bad for President Zelensky. That is a badass, and showed all of us exactly what weak, sniveling little bitches Trump and J.D. Vance are.
What just happened in the White House is probably the most embarrassing, disgraceful thing I've ever seen. Our president and vice president, like fifth grade bullies, tag-teamed a popular, democratically elected president, attacking him in front of dozens of cameras in a way they would never dare with Putin. This was a president who was elected to rebuild his country after their 2014 revolution, which threw out Viktor Yanukovych, who was a pro-Russian oligarch. His presidency was the result of a 10-year campaign by Paul Manafort to establish pro-Russian billionaire control of Ukraine. The same Manafort who, after he was thrown out of Ukraine, came to the United States to run Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. Donald Trump has been surrounded by anti-Ukraine billionaires for over a decade, so his position on Ukraine shouldn't surprise any of us. But the thing that did catch me off guard in that disaster of a press conference was this.
Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do own a suit?
Complaining that the president of a war-torn nation isn't wearing a suit. Complaining that he didn't thank Donald Trump enough. This is what people of extreme privilege do. They have nothing else to worry about, so they sit around and worry about decorum. Are you wearing the right suit? Did you kiss the ring? Zelensky isn't applying for a personal loan. He's not asking to join a private country club. He's putting his life at risk every single day to defend the values that for almost 250 years we claimed to hold. It's embarrassing, and 75 million Americans should be ashamed.
I joined a local far-right Facebook group just to see what they were saying, if anyone was actually starting to catch on to what was going on. It was eye-opening. These are the things I saw. Number one, they do not believe that anyone that truly needs Medicaid will be losing their benefits. They think illegals are using it, and some people are scamming the system, and those are the only ones that will lose benefits. Number two, they think that Elon Musk is making zero profit off of the government or any of the contracts, and he's doing this truly from the goodness of his heart. Number three, they think that the Palestinian people want Trump to come in and save them. They think that the reason that they are not getting the no tax on overtime or tips is because the Democrats voted against it. There doesn't seem to be a real understanding of how the House of Representatives, Congress actually works. Another one, they think that the reason the Ukraine and Russian war hasn't ended is because Zelensky has refused negotiations. They think that Trump and Putin have tried to end the war, but Zelensky has rejected that. And finally, they really, truly do believe that they are getting these stimulus checks. Some of them even say they already have them.
Y'all, so today is the day of the DEI Blackout Day, right? And Walmart is on the list, of course. I work here. That's why I'm here. But I want to show y'all something. We ain't playing. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. Look at how empty this goddamn store is. Not a soul in here but people who working. Not a soul. This store is usually on and popping at 6 o'clock in the morning, especially with all our regulars. All our little older folks that be in here. Ain't nobody in here. Nobody but the workers are in here, y'all. Yo, these people not playing. Why do y'all insist on playing with us? Why?
FAFO season is in full swing, and Maga voters are now regretting their decisions. Things haven't turned out as they expected, and now they must face the consequences.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you own a suit?
Yeah, you have problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting.
I don't have such. I will wear a costume after this war will finish. Yes, maybe one, maybe something like yours. Yes, maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper.
This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign nation got invaded. His people were dying. And this motherfucker talks about him wearing a suit.
Good morning. If you're of the opinion that foreign aid to Ukraine is a detriment to the U.S. economy, then you don't understand how foreign aid to Ukraine works. Also, if you're of the opinion that America has helped enough and it should be up to Russia and Ukraine to finish this conflict, then you're telling the world that you don't value American lives. Let me explain. Of the roughly $172 billion that the United States has allocated and sent to Ukraine, and yes, that's the actual number, not $350 billion like President Trump likes to say, only about a third of that goes to Ukraine in the form of cash. Because they can't really just load the weapons with rolls of $100 bills and fire them at Russian tanks, can they? The remaining 2/3 is used to bolster our economy, because we send them munitions, weapons, and vehicles that are close to decommission times in our arsenal. If we didn't send that equipment to Ukraine, it would be up to us to decommission it because it has reached its shelf life for our standards in the US military. And decommissioning equipment like that costs us money. Instead, we send that equipment to Ukraine, and the aid package, the monetary value of that aid package, is the monetary value of the equipment and thus the reciprocal value of the money that will be pumped into our economy to build new munitions, equipment, and vehicles to replenish our military. Tens of billions of dollars are flowing into our economy to pay American workers to do just that, replenish our military and not risk a single American life in Ukraine. Which leads me to my second point. If we cede Ukraine to Russia and they come after any neighboring NATO country, Romania, Slovakia, take your pick, then we are going to have to risk American lives to defend them. So we can weaken the military of an adversarial country, Russia, without risking a single American life, all the while bolstering our own economy here at home. Tell me how that's a bad thing. Oh yeah, and if you're of the opinion that, well, if they want to achieve a ceasefire, Ukraine is going to have to capitulate to Russia and cede some land that Russia took by force, let me ask you this. If Mexico were to invade the United States of America, would you be okay with just ceding parts of Texas to Mexico? Are you okay that they just took part of our sovereign country by force?
Ah, what a beautiful morning. So grateful that Trump got in office. Life is going to be so much easier again.
A few moments later.
So I just got the quote from the dentist in Mexico I've been looking to go see because no offense to my current dentist in the United States. I love him. He does a really great job. And I wish I could go to him. I just can't afford dental care in the United States.
The colonizer mentality is crazy. Like I've always said, they don't like Mexicans, but they like our food, they like our beaches, they like our services, but they don't like us. I thought the USA was the richest country in the world. I thought that the USA was the best country in the world. Why are you coming to Mexico? I thought Donald Trump was going to make you guys rich. I thought Donald Trump was going to put all this money in your pockets. I thought Mexico was dangerous. I thought Mexico was scary. I thought Mexico was filled with drugs and crime. The president, the one you voted for, doesn't like Mexico. So why the heck are you coming? Ask your president to pay for your dental care. If the USA is so great, then you have no need to come to Mexico. Just stay in the US. Get your dental care in the US. The best health care in the world, according to you guys. But anyways, guys, nothing new. Colonizers are gonna colonize, but let me know what you guys think.
Guys, my father-in-law explains why America voted for Trump in a minute, and you have to hear this.
You're going to see all the proof of all this thievery and corruption that's going on. It's going to be really, really bad. It's going to be disgusting. Nothing to laugh about. I think we have a lot to cry about because all these years I've grown old. I've grown old in the country, and I've had to do so much sacrificing where I shouldn't have done any sacrifice. I shouldn't have done any sacrifice. They could have given us, we're 330 million people in this country. They would have given us every beginning of the year, like they do over in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia, $1 million. $1 million to each person in this country who's a citizen. And then you want to work, you work. You don't want to work, you don't work. You spend your money, whatever it is, the economy grows. It goes on consumption. We didn't have to do this. We didn't have to do this because it's disgusting. I mean, I'm laughing, but I want to rip somebody's head off. You know that we have 20 million people in this country that are over 150 years old, according to the Social Security rolls. 20 million people in the United States that are 150 years old. Who's been getting that check? I know who's been getting that check. I don't know the name, but it's people there in government getting that money. Where's that money? Or the one that had the government contracts that are supposed to only the duration of the contract. It says in the contract, it's a 3-month contract, 20 years. Contract's been going on for 20 years, and the government's paying the money on a contract that only lasted 3 months. It's absurd. It's absurd. We should have been forget those people in Abu Dhabi or whatever it's called, Yabba Dabba Doo. We should have been living like that, not like them.
Slams the door. How do you think America voted for Trump? Drop it in the comments.
Why did they vote for Trump? Some voters are unhappy with the policies being implemented, realizing that these outcomes were not what they had originally supported.
136 countries offered assistance to the USA after 9/11. Can't remember any of them asking for their money back.
I just saw a tweet that said in the first month since Trump has been president, he's fired more Americans from their job than he has deported illegal immigrants. And this whole time you've been telling us that the media is biased in the left's direction for some reason, even though that's never, ever been true. But now, like, every little headline is like, oh, this new guy did a Roman salute. A Roman salute.
This is a message for Brian Glenn, the old right-wing troll who asked Zelensky why he wasn't wearing a suit at the Oval Office ambush. Have you seen that video yet?
No. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting.
I don't have such. I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
I agree with Zelensky. A suit is a costume, one that's made for a weak man who needs some gender affirmation. That necktie might as well be a dog leash the way that Trump is leading this puppy around. But Zelensky doesn't need a suit because he doesn't have a bunch of flabby flaps to cover up. He looks better in a t-shirt than you'll ever look in a suit. And he's an actual hero, something you'll never be. And of course you're dating Marjorie Taylor Greene. She can't get a real man because she looks like one. So you like a butch. I can see how that makes the strap-on more convincing. You can put a suit on a pig, but it's still a pig. Just look at Trump. Trump wears the same suit every day. I hear it smells like a combination of dirty diaper and pancake makeup. So why don't you just stop sucking up to Metamucil Mussolini? Although his hair is kind, the kind that grows around a dog's ass. A suit can cover up a wrinkly old body, but it can't save anybody's face. It looks like the Crypt Keeper fucked Granny Clampett. There's not enough Botox in the world to fix that shit, yet you act like you think you're some kind of fashionista. All I see is an old leather handbag hiding behind a cheap polyester suit. Where was your criticism when Elon showed up in the Oval Office with a t-shirt and a bratty little snotty accessory wrapped around his neck? Let's face it, you're no reporter. You're just a Russian propagandist and a traitor, and all the suits in the world can't hide that shit. Here's a tip. You want to take a good selfie? Do it on a roller coaster going at 100 miles an hour. 3 words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote, crusty, musty, dusty. You and I are the same age. I've only got one question for you. What happened to you? Could it be the stress of the lawsuit that Fox News had to settle back in 2007 when you allegedly sexually harassed an Iranian reporter? Is there anyone in Trump's inner circle that doesn't harass women?
Well, the Republican lawmakers are starting to fuck around and find out. I mean, they're in the find out stage now. Right here in Texas, deep red Texas, Keith Self basically got booed off the stage. Now, that's in Wiley. It's a little bit east of where we live, but I mean, Texas. If Texas, deep red Texas, is flipping on the Republicans, Well, shit. What's next? Florida? Apparently it happened in Kansas too, right? Where, I don't remember his name. He had to run off stage like a little bitch. And he was called a coward by the crowd. The whole smash. You guys can go look it up. All this coming from resistance to what is happening. And the cherry on top was yesterday when Zelensky, the alpha male in the room, sat there with a guy who obviously has enough charisma to where all he can get to screw is a couch. And the other guy can't last for more than a minute and had to evade the war, whereas Zelensky, Mr. Alpha Male, is on the front lines with his troops. You wouldn't see either one of those other clowns doing that. So, of course, they reacted as you would when you're a coward. Things are going south in a hurry for the Republicans, but is it going to matter? I don't know. Ain't no one standing up, so we need to do something.
He did not humiliate Zelensky. He did not humiliate Ukraine. He humiliated the United States of America.
Is there anything that would disqualify Donald Trump from your vote in 2024?
Yeah, if he decided that he was going to go and let China get into his wallet, or if he decided he would let Russia get into his wallet, but those are two things that Trump don't do.
Do you have sympathy for these voters that now regret their vote? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And let's have a respectful and open discussion about this important issue. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.